Hi, my name is Vicki Boyer, and this is Ariana Boyer, and we go by Anna. Anyhow, with Ariana, we honestly did not know she had colic. Right after we brought her home from the hospital after day 2, she started crying uncontrollably, where our friends came over and just told us, you have another newborn and all this other stuff, and that you just need to relax and everything will be fine. After that, weeks went on where she would cry uncontrollably from 10 p.m. to approximately 3 or 4 a.m. to the point that my husband and I would hardly get any sleep, considering we also have a toddler who is 2. We tried everything: warm baths, massages, rocking her, car rides, everything. Nothing would soothe her. I would take her to the pediatrician every week, and we were told, just with her constipation issues and whatnot, she was not producing bowel movements on her own, to try diluted prune juice. We tried that, it didn't work. The following week we tried soy, that didn't work, and she was on that for about a month. We tried Caro syrup, and every bottle, that did not work. She was still crying and screaming and in pain only at night. During the day she did just fine. Again, going back to taking her to the doctor every week, we tried everything, to the point that we were referred to the hospital, and they ended up doing a scope on her to see what was wrong with her rectum. Everything was normal there. The GI doctor, pediatric GI doctor, had done that. At that point at which she thought that she had some sensitivities to formula and the protein within it. So she suggested that we get on a different formula, Similac aluminum. We were on that. She had a few bowel movements, but she was also on that reflux medication. Things still weren't working. She wanted to switch us to Alicare, which was $45 a can, which we personally can't afford. I was getting very frustrated by going to the pediatrician every week, considering she's 4 months old now, and I had been doing that since week 1. I've taken her to the hospital. I've been told that I'm just in mommy mode and that there's nothing wrong, and that it's perfectly normal if your child doesn't go to the bathroom every day. It's true. It's normal if a baby doesn't go, but if a baby doesn't go at all, there's something wrong. Anyhow, I was honestly to the point of taking her to Kansas City, to the hospital there, to see what they could do. And before I was even about to drive there, one of our friends had told us about Dr. Schoenberg, and that we should really consider him, and that maybe, our second child does have colic. Sure enough, we brought her in one visit. She didn't cry throughout the night. It took a while to be able to produce the bowel movements, but all he does is apply simple pressure to the valve located in between the large and small intestine, which I didn't even know there was such thing there. And that just, relieves pressure and helps the bowels move and work. And it is a little painful for them, but they get through it, and it makes everything work, and they're a happier baby because of it. She's starting to have bowel movements on her own without the help of suppositories, laxatives, any other things. She is on the Similac 60/40 that I have never heard of before, and it's not even out of the market. You have to order it online, and just coming to Dr. Schoenberg, he had told us about it because it has less iron, and my husband and I did think that her constipation issue was related to iron, but when you go to different places, they tell you no, there's not enough iron to cause issues. Well, now we know there is, because she was on Dillon's brand formula. She was on regular advanced Similac. We've had her on the special formulas, and now she's just on the Similac 60/40, and we're seeing a huge difference, and we can actually sleep at night. She's just by far a happier baby. We're really happy with the results, and we were even seeing a stronger bond with our 2-year-old as well, as she knows that Anna's doing better, and we can all grow closer together because we're not up all hours of the night losing sleep. There was a time that I even had to take her to the hospital to get an enema the night before her scope, and it was just a lot of driving and a lot of, constant stress of trying to figure out what's wrong with our infant, and everybody's just telling us that everything's normal, and that I'm just basically in mommy mode, and we just kept being persistent and persistent and persistent, and found Dr. Scherenberg through a friend, and it was the best thing. And I honestly wish we would have known from day one about him, and how Dr. Scherenberg has educated us about colic, and how even a simple grunt, with colic, and how a baby really shouldn't be in pain. I mean, her pain level was through the roof. You thought that somebody was physically harming her, that she would cry uncontrollably for hours on end, and there was something wrong. And the only way she was going to the bathroom prior to this was with laxatives and suppositories, and we didn't want to do that long term, and we were just very persistent about trying to find her a solution. And Dr. Scherenberg is honestly the solution. I'd recommend him to everyone. I guess that's it.